Hey, you, wait. You look familiar to me.
What do you want?
I've seen your face before somewhere, right? Here, we found this picture on some bandits we picked up a few days ago. It looks a lot like you. Apparently, those guys were looking for you.
Gee, I'd never have thought of that myself.
Very funny. What did those guys want from you?
Ask them yourself. You've got them safely locked up, haven't you?
No, they're dead.
I guess we'll never know then.
If you're in some kind of trouble, go talk to Lord Andre. Maybe he can help you. You'll find him in the barracks.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Piranha, shall it be? But the human and the beast waged war upon the land of Atlas.
Hey, I don't know you. What do you want here? Are you headed for the tavern?
Everybody knows.
Yes, do you mind?
You've got no business here, Runt.
It's too much.
Calm down. All I want to do is drink a beer.
Okay, but it'll cost you 50 gold pieces to get in.
He had better shut up.
Forget it. You won't get a single coin.
Then I'll take everything you have. As soon as you're lying on the ground in front of me.
These are big. Ah! That's what I want.
Let him have it! Give him what for!
Show him!
Give him what for! That's not bad.
Hey, I haven't got time to chat with you. Talk to Cardiff if you want information.
How are things?
If you want something to drink, you'll have to order it.
I bet you overhear a lot of things.
So what's that to you?
I've always got an open ear for news.
Have you got your purse open then? Every piece of information I give you will cost 10 gold pieces.
I'll give you no more than 5 for your information.
What? 5 gold pieces? Are you trying to ruin me? Let's make it 7.
No, it doesn't work that way. Let's say 6.
You're a scoundrel, you know that? Well, if you insist, let's say 6 gold pieces for each piece of information.
Give me something to drink. I need information. Who counts among the influential citizens in this town?
You won't find anyone down here at the harbor. The only powerful man here is Lamar. The moneylender is not very popular, but he has gold, and other influential citizens owe him money. The merchants and craftsmen also have a lot of influence. Too much, if you ask me.
Who's in debt to Lamar?
If you want to know that, you should take a look in his ledger. Only it might be pretty difficult to do that without him noticing. As far as I know, he always carries it with him.
Where can I find work?
You're not likely to find work down here at the harbor. You need to go to the craftsman in the lower part of town for that. But if you wield a decent blade, you could go challenge Ulrich. He fights for gold behind the warehouse.
What do you know about the missing citizens?
All I know is that some people have vanished during the last few days. It's especially bad down here at the harbor, they say. Maybe you should ask around here a bit. There were some cases in the lower part of the city, too. If you want to know more, you should talk to Corrigan. He has his tavern in the lower part of town, and he's likely to hear a thing or two. Halvor, the fish merchant down by the quay, might know something too. Many people frequent him.
Who can teach me something here?
There are a few competent people here in the harbor district. Carl the blacksmith is a sturdy fellow. I'll bet he can show you how to get stronger. Ulrich knows a lot about fighting, and Laris is a cunning rogue. He's down here at the harbor sometimes as well. And if you're crazy enough to go see old Ignaz, he knows all about Almich potions.
Where can I find all these people?
Oh, boy, the king will have won his war against the orcs before I've done explaining that to you. Just look around the harbor district and you're bound to find them. And if you don't know your way about, go to Braham and buy yourself a map. He's easy to find. His hut is right next to my tavern. I should have charged double for that one.
Is there any special work to be had around here where I could make some quick money?
Something special, you say? Go talk to Nagur then. Maybe he can help you.
Got anything special for me to do?
I've got something for you, but that should only interest you if you're a man of versatile talents.
What have you got?
Well, Zorus, the potion vendor in the marketplace, currently has a guest, Darren the fire magician.
And?
He had a new chest made specially for him by Thorben the carpenter. They say that this Darren has bought a bunch of valuable stuff with him. But you didn't hear that from me, understand?
All right, you win. What do you want?
You know your way about the harbor, don't you?
Sure thing. Why?
You don't say.
What kind of rumors are floating about?
Around here, we don't like people who ask too many questions. Especially not if they're strangers.
Why don't I see any militia?
They don't dare come in here. We take care of things ourselves.
How's the shipping traffic?
The only ship that's come here recently is the Paladin ship. It's over there behind the rocky ridge to the southwest.
Some problems solve themselves.
Hey, you!
Ahoy, you landlubber. Looks like you're stranded here. You look a bit pale around the gills. Never mind, my lad. All you need is a good stiff sea breeze.
What are you doing here?
Back when I was a young man, I went to sea and rode through many a big storm.
That's not what I heard. Why haven't I heard about this before?
No big deal, not at all.
I agree with you.
But that old tower came closest to what I call a home.
Nobody ever asked.
I haven't been up there in ages.
Why not?
Ever since these scallywags took over my lighthouse, I haven't dared get closer to it than 20 feet. Really bad rabble, that. They're criminals from the Valley of Mind, you know. There was this big bang on the other side of the mountains, and they swarmed all over the land like flies. Now they're hiding out everywhere, even in my lighthouse. I think they're on the lookout for any ship they can raid. Ah, let them. Then at least they'd be out of my tower.
Let's wait and see what happens.
Do you come to town often?
I always say a town is only as good as its harbor. A harbor is the gate to the world. That's where everyone meets and where everything starts. Once the harbor goes to the dogs, the rest of the city will follow soon.
Tell me about the harbor.
The harbor of Corinthus isn't what it used to be. There's nothing but riffraff hanging about. The ships don't come anymore, and trade is dead. This harbor's about to go under.
So why don't you leave?
Nobody would take an old sea dog like me on his ship these days. Most people think that old Jack's got the gout in his rotten old bones.
And? Are they right?
Balderdash. Once I've got those planks beneath me feet again, I'll feel like a young whippersnapper.
What do you mean by riffraff?
Look at them, the lazy rabble. Most of them don't even know what work is. All they do is drink all day and spend their last pay at the brothel. I tell you, stay away from them.
That's all just gossips.
Why are the ships no longer coming?
They all say that once the war is over, everything will be like it used to be. That's a load of bilge water. I tell you, a sailor can see when a town's going downhill. A sailor feels that in his blood, and I can tell you, forget about this harbor. Its heyday's over.
Nothing surprises me anymore.
Nothing's ever gonna change that.
But no, he insisted he
Is
knew
it
better.
true that some townspeople have simply vanished?
So I've heard, but I'm not sure whether it's really true.
That's been known
Just
for a
look
long
around you. Does this rat hole look like the place where you want to spend your golden years? Small wonder that people are getting themselves out of here.
What are you doing here?
My name is Brahim. I draw maps and sell them. Since you're new here, maybe you could use a map of the city? It's quite affordable and very useful until you know your way around.
Show me your
He
maps.
insisted he knew better.
There've been all kinds of rumors.
Come back again later. I'm sure to have something new for you then.
Those are all just rumors.
Hey, you!
Will it ever change?
What are you doing here?
I'm building a ship because I want to get out of here as fast as I can. But the way it looks right now, this ship will never be finished.
Knew better.
Why are you in such a hurry?
Soon the orcs will come and burn down the city.
What makes you think that?
Boy, have you noticed the paladins running around everywhere? Why do you think they're here? I tell you, they're here because the orcs will attack soon, and that won't be pretty.
It's really not
Can I help you somehow?
Yes, you can. Find out what the paladins are planning. I want to know why they're here. And I have to know if the orcs will attack and how far from the city they are. One of the bastards was even seen outside the city. Just bring me all the information you can get. I need to know how much time I have left to finish the boat.
I've got some information about the orcs.
Let's hear it.
They're stuck in the Valley of Mines, and it looks like they're going to stay there. To be on the safe side, the paladins are guarding the pass.
Good. If you find out more, let me know.
Cause more trouble.
As to that orc outside of town,
Yes?
don't worry about him. The city guard is going to take care of him.
Good. If you find out more, let me know.
not my problem.
What's going on at the harbor?
Do you really
The
think?
orcs are breathing down our necks and you're asking about the harbor?
I only wanted to...
The biggest problem we have is that there aren't enough ships in the harbor to get us out of here. To be honest, there's only one ship here, and that belongs to the paladins. They certainly won't let us get out of here with that.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
Why can't you finish your ship?
Oh, we have thousands of problems. The hull still isn't stable, and it's still missing a lot of boards. But I have hardly any gold left to buy new material with, and the last delivery had bugs in it. My boys don't work productively. One wants a fast ship above all else, the other one is worried about the figurehead. As if we didn't have more important things to do. Also, one of my people is simply not showing up for work anymore. I'm beginning to fear that this will delay the construction even more.
You're one worker short?
Yes, his name is Monty. He's vanished into thin air. That lazy pig is probably living the high life on a farm somewhere. I should never have paid him in advance.
When was the last time you saw Monty?
He hasn't bothered to show up for work for at least 2 days.
Who said that?
I've heard that other people have gone missing too.
Just what I'm saying. That's where the evil starts. Farum the fisherman told me something similar. His buddy William is no longer around. I bet that the orcs are behind all this.
It's totally obvious.
You listen to the wrong people.
As if I didn't have enough problems.
You
He
listen to
simply
the wrong
talks too
people.
much.
But that's terrible.
You don't have to ask me.
Hey, you! Where you going?
Even worse.
No matter what your plans are, there'll be plenty of time later. You're right in front of the Pearl of Corinus, the Red Lantern. This is the most beautiful brothel in all of Myrtana, damn it. Sailors from the most remote corners of the world dock here just to spend a few nights in the Red Lantern. And now, it's you who has the chance, nay, the honor of spending a night with Nadja, the most passionate flower of the gods. Come on in, and you're going to experience what others cannot even dream of.
I hardly know what to believe anymore.
And it's going to get even worse.
As if I didn't have enough problems. You mustn't believe everything you hear.
Can you tell me something about those missing people?
Missing people? This is a harbor, pal. Things like that are bound to happen. The sea is treacherous and bound to claim a life now and then. Captains of large vessels will always sign on new sailors in a large seaport such as Corinus to complete their cruise. And if they don't find any volunteers, some people may get dragged off against their will, and then they're gone.
Are you missing someone?
Me? No.
Do you know of anyone who's gone missing?
No idea. Ask the shipbuilders.
What ship would that have been?
Good question. Not many ships have come into Corinus lately. That is true.
I'm not touching that. I wouldn't have done that.
That's not what I heard. That's an open secret.
Could you cook me some soup?
Nothing could be simpler. Here, have a plate.
That's no sin to believe everything you hear.
I don't know why he gets so worked up.
Hey, you! Can you tell me something about the missing people?
My friend William started hanging out with a bunch of shady characters. And where did it get him? One day he simply didn't show up for work. And that's the last we saw of him.
Your buddy William has disappeared?
So he has. He's a fisherman, but a little too big for his boots, I should add. He should have stayed well away from that bunch.
When did you last see him?
Only a few days ago.
Maybe he just went out to sea to fish.
That's not very likely. His boat is still moored in the harbor.
What's he been up to?
William had some shady dealings with those crooks. I think it was all about contraband that he sold to the bastards.
He'll surface again.
I don't think so. He's been gone for too long already. I'm afraid that I'll be dragging his body from the sea at some point.
What bastards would those be?
I don't know who they are or what their business is here in Corinus. I only know the place where they met up with William. I just happened to see William there when I was fishing in the bay.
Where exactly is that meeting place?
There's a bay opposite the harbor, north of here. You can only reach it by boat or swim. There's a beach there and a small fishing camp. That's where I saw them.
I think I've heard enough.
Spare yourself the effort. I don't believe you'll find him.
So, how are the fish biting?
I've seen better times. Too little to live on, too much to die.
I couldn't care less. The path of virtue is
Some
long
don't
and
even
rocky.
know how wicked they are.
I'm not telling you anything new.
Don't tell this to anyone.
I couldn't care less.
I can't take care of everything right away. That's an open secret.
Hey, you! Do you know anything about a thieves' guild in town?
The questions you ask. Of course, there's a thieves' guild here, just like in every big city. And every petty pickpocket or fence is probably connected to it somehow.
Do you know where I can find the thieves' guild?
No offense, but even if I knew, I wouldn't tell you anything. These people usually react very sensitively to things like that. If you want to get involved with them, you should be very careful.
Vatras sent me. He told me to come to you when I needed help.
So you've already been to see Vatras? You must have made a lasting impression on him. Otherwise, he certainly wouldn't have volunteered my name. Especially not since the matter with those missing people still hasn't been resolved. Tell me what you need.
Really? How interesting.
Vatras gave me this ornament to bring to you. He said it is to be taken back.
Of course. It's up to me, as usual. I might have known. I'll have to walk halfway across the island to take it back to the water mages.
I can take the ornament there for you.
I think I'd better take it there myself. But you could come with me. Only, I can't leave here at the moment. I need to keep an eye on the harbor.
These are bad times.
What exactly do you do here at the harbor?
I can't talk about that. Vatras would have my head.
That's what I've always said.
About those missing people. Tell me what you know.
The first was William, one of the fishermen here in Corinus. One day, he simply didn't return. At first, we thought that one of those sea monsters out there had eaten him in his boat for breakfast. But not too long afterwards, other people started disappearing from the town and the surroundings. Pretty random events, though. Everyone's at a loss so far. The way it looks, we'll just have to wait until we finally stumble across a clue.
Isn't this a case for the militia?
The militia is pretty useless if you ask me. They're never going to clear this up. The missing people have just vanished into thin air.
Go away, don't tell me that.
So what's your business with Vatras?
I've got this little agreement with the water mages, you see.
What kind of an agreement?
We work for them, and they see to it that our past in the penal colony doesn't get us into trouble.
You're talking about the Ring of Water?
You've heard of it?
Vatras told me about it.
You might have mentioned that right away.
That's not what my husband thinks.
Tell me more about the Ring of Water.
The ring is to the water mages what the paladins are to the fire magicians. But, unlike the paladins, we operate in the background. The ring is a mighty weapon in the battle against the dangers that threaten the people of Corinus. But this only works as long as we keep the identity of all those secret who belong to the Ring of Water. So keep this to yourself.
Sure.
It's gonna get even worse. He simply talks too much.
I want to join the Ring of Water.
That's fine with me. But the decision about whether you will be accepted or not lies with the water mages
That's not what
alone.
my husband thinks.
What did you do to impress the water mages?
I protected them for a long time when we were still living with the barrier. And they have plenty of reason to be grateful to me.
What's it like to belong to the Ring?
We are very different from the usual communities you can join here in Corinus. Once you're one of us, we're not going to ask anything of you that you are not ready to do. The only thing we truly require of you is to keep quiet. We work in secret and do not want to let outsiders know who our members are. We shall keep an eye on you. Everything else remains to be seen.
I see.
I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. Everybody knows by now.
Vatras said you could help me join a community.
Getting tired of being the underdog, are you? All right, I see your point.
What I heard.
I can exert my influence with the mercenaries if you want to join Lee. And I'm sure we can find a way to get you into the monastery soon. But the easiest thing would certainly be for you to join the militia. Which community do you prefer?
That's terrible.
I'll have to think about it. What exactly do you do here at the harbor?
I'm doing what we all do. I fulfill the tasks the water mages give me. Some of the missing people were fishermen. They disappeared along with their boats. That's why I'm standing here, watching the harbor. Maybe something will happen yet. But you could help me. Listen, I shall give you my aquamarine ring. It signifies that the bearer belongs to the ring of water. If you wear my ring, the rest of us will know that you're acting on my behalf. Get someone to take over my duties so that I can take the ornament back. One of us is always keeping an eye on the marketplace, but I don't know whose turn it is. You had better go talk to all those standing around there. Once the right man sees my aquamarine ring on you, he will let you know. Tell him to see to it that somebody else takes over here at the harbor.
I need your help.
And what exactly were you thinking of?
I need some money.
Don't we all? Sorry, but I have none to give you. But Lamar, the moneylender, still owes me a favor. Go to him and borrow whatever money you need. I'll take care of the rest. You'll find Lamar in the harbor district, where it borders on the lower part of town.
Boy, that lunatic's hammering is wearing me down.
Who are you talking about?
Can't you hear that hammering? Who do you think hammers all day long in the harbor district? I mean that lunatic felon. He takes the hammer to his hut every day.
I could take care of Felon.
You want to help me? What's in it for you?
You tell me.
Oh, that's how it is. All right, if you can get him to stop hammering, I'll pay you 25 gold pieces. But I'll tell you one thing right now. You can't talk to the guy. He's nuts. The only thing that will help is a few decent punches.
If I beat him up, I'll just get into trouble with the militia.
Down here at the harbor, no one pays much attention to brawls. But if you steal around here or mess with the sheep, you'll be in trouble.
I'll see what I can do.
You can think about it. Remember, I'll pay you 25 gold coins.
Are those your sheep?
The only one that belongs to me is the one that answers to the name of Lucy. That's my wife, Lucy. The sheep belong to the militia. All the sheep they collect from the farmers, they bring to me.
And how are the sheep?
Felon's hammering is going to drive them crazy. One of these days, they'll go completely to pieces.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Piranha.
It's gonna get even worse.
It's really not.
Hey, you! Why are you hammering?
Haven't seen it with
For
Vietnam.
days now, I've been desperately trying to fix the leaks in my house. The rafters have been crumbling away ever since we had those rainfalls recently. Soon everything's gonna come down around my
That's
ears.
not what I heard.
Wait a minute.
It's not what I heard.
Could you stop hammering?
No, I have to finish this.
That was obvious.
Just quit hammering, okay?
Just try not to bug me too much, okay?
I'll give you 10 gold pieces if you stop that hammering.
Hey, that's very generous of you. But as to your gold, you
He
can...
never would have
Well,
thought of that himself.
you know what you can do with it.
Go away. Don't tell me.
Stop that hammering or I'll break every bone in your body.
Nobody will learn
Forget it,
anything from
or
that.
I'll knock some sense into your head with my hammer. You'll...
I agree with you completely.
Now that's typical, isn't it?
I'd have gone about it differently.
All civilian judges.
I agree with you completely.
Don't tell this to anyone.
Don't you try that again.
Hey!
Okay, so you beat me. Some heroic deed that was.
Would have
Will you stop hammering now, or do I have to thrash you again?
No, don't hit me anymore. I'll stop. But if everything collapses around here, it'll be your fault.
Who says things like that?
Felon will hammer no longer.
Hear that? No more hammering. At last, I thought the fellow would never quit. You've done me a huge favor. You know what? I'll give you 30 gold pieces.
And how are the sheep?
The sheep eat and get fatter and fatter. Just like my wife.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Corinus. By the explicit order of the Honorable Lord Hagen, the following decree is hereby enacted. Due to the general situation, the forest and wilderness near the city are to be avoided for your own protection. Furthermore, any contact with the rebelling peasantry in the surrounding areas is strictly forbidden.